Mega Man Zero is the start of the Mega Man Zero series, which is a sub-series of Mega Man X, which is a sub-series of Mega Man. And this is what I have been waiting for. You play as Zero, who controls pretty much like he does in the X series, but with some X in there as well. There are 4 weapons in the game, one of them is the Z-Saber, but one of them is also a blaster that pretty much turns the combat into Mega Man X. The shield is very situational, as I've found, and the rod is kinda in the same boat, but is extremely effective for some platforming challenges where you need it to poke on enemies, and one specific boss which needs precise attacks. On the topic of bosses, this game's boss design is top-notch. As a GBA game, I had some concerns about the screen crunch, but those were completely unwarranted. Almost all of the bosses are incredibly fun to fight and need to be dealt with in different ways. There's a nice balance to the combat, I feel, that usually rewards you for good saber gameplay with more damage dealt, but sometimes taking the safer option with the blaster is smarter. Something I'm kind of middling on is this game's weapon leveling system. It's not complicated, the more you use a weapon, the stronger it gets and the more abilities it gets. The directional moves from X4 are sadly mostly absent, though with the GBA button layout I kinda prefer it this way. You can equip 2 weapons at a time, so most of the time I went with the saber and the blaster, occasionally swapping the blaster out for the rod. Some of these unlockable abilities are absolutely essential to the game for me, and really shouldn't be behind level ups. Like the ability to fully charge your weapons. One of my favorite features from this game is the ability to charge your saber for a strong smash attack. Combined with a new element system that infuses your fully charged attacks with a certain element, this turns your saber into a monstrously strong attack that you need to get into enemies' attack ranges to execute. It's super satisfying to execute well. The element system is the stand-in for the fact that you do not gain your enemies' abilities in this game, and I kinda feel like it's wasted potential. Some elemental attacks can be used for environmental puzzles, but in the end all it does is making you swap to the element a boss is weak against. There really isn't much to it. This game's level design is also pretty fun for the most part. Again, I really don't feel much screen crunch in this game, which is probably for the most part due to its wide aspect ratio. There's exactly one stage which, to be fair, appears twice and has a level gimmick I really don't like, but otherwise this was a great time throughout. Now there's one somewhat major weird spot to this game, and that's the Cyber Elf system. Cyber Elves are the major collectibles of this game, and they're everywhere. They're hidden like the collectibles in the X series, or drop from enemies if you kill enough of them in a given stage. Since the game is semi-open world and that you unlock new areas of the world as you clear missions, going back and exploring to find the ones you missed is pretty fun. The Cyber Elves can then be used as either one-off heals or abilities, or to unlock permanent health increases and sub-tanks. This sounds kinda cool until you realize that you have to spend boatloads of currency to raise them first. I had almost entirely ignored this system until the actual final level, where I thought surely there has to be a way to increase your defenses in this game, and yes, there was. I had a bit over 1,000 energy crystals at this point, which did not even let me get a single sub-tank, so I set off to grind. I looked at a list of which ones give permanent upgrades and spent 3 hours in the desert running back and forth collecting energy crystals to feed the Cyber Elves, after which I absolutely steamrolled the refights and the final boss. This was not ideal to say the least, but to this game's credit I did do it willingly. In hindsight, the Cyber Elves are way too strong in this game. Using any of the permanent ones does give you a permanent ranking debuff, but there's absolutely no reason to pay attention to that in this game unless you want slightly harder bosses. Covering up spikes completely, quadruple health, and double defense all at the same time are a bit much. The Cyber Elves do play into the story of this game though, which for the first time in a Mega Man game I actually found kinda entertaining. Dr. CL has to be one of the first Mega Man characters with major speaking roles that I did not want to punch in the face. Where the storytelling in Mega Man X can be charming, the story in Mega Man Zero is actually kinda good, which I really do want to commend this game for. It's nothing groundbreaking or anything, but the fact that I'm not annoyed by it is an achievement on its own. All in all, this game was fucking great. An incredibly rewarding game that just hit a little snag in terms of collectible balancing, which is drastically scaled down in the sequels. I'm excited to see where the series goes, and I give this game a 9 out of 10.